I guess those ideas, because you talked about the work that kind of flawed ethnography, and in the past, those ideas have kind of manifested themselves in the way that we edited films or kind of redrawn photographs. And I wanted, because I see the script for this film as very much kind of stemming from those works and the ideas of appropriation in those works. And I wonder if you could maybe talk a bit about that in terms of the script, which is really, I guess, the text. The script is very much the starting point for this piece.
I guess I'm thinking about two things. One is that when I was thinking about being a bad ethnographer, I was thinking about the impossibility of accessing the past as a culture in a way that we can project onto it, but we can never actually go back and look at it. And I used to spend a lot of time laboriously redrawing old photographs because of an interest in sort of the inaccessibility, no matter how much time I spent reproducing this image. It was never going to give me any access to what it was like to have taken a photograph or to have been one of the people in the image. And so I suppose the way that the script came up, and perhaps it's related to that, is that at the beginning of the film, there's a character who tries to remember a photograph and realizes that he remembered it wrong, which is exactly what happened. I had taken a photograph outside the museum in Paris, and I did remember it wrong. And I had sort of mixed two photographs together. As an artist, potentially interested in mimicking the experience of a viewer in terms of being immersed in cultural products and then trying to draw from them and try to produce work from them. I sort of was interested in where that starts in a way, and so that was sort of what took me back to looking at sort of the origins of spectacular culture or descriptions of it that were potentially, or they were secondhand or historical through historical documents versus my own experience of trying to negotiate these spaces that were being described by these cultural historians but in the present. And a lot of them have now become other things. So for example, the museum that I took the photograph outside of was once built for the Universal Exhibition in Paris, which followed the Great Exhibition that Crystal Palace was built for. And then it became the Natural History Museum, and now it's the Museum of Anatomy and Paleontology. And each of those, is a manifestation of not just that the building changes, but also the regimes of experience within those spaces shift across time. And so it's trying to kind of create a kind of schism or negotiate a position between trying to understand some of these ideas through research and then trying to understand them through traveling to a space or my own experience of those spaces because of an interest in the kind of problematic relationship between experience and history, I guess.
The composition of your script, there's this kind of sense of time travel that you're kind of jumping between periods of history, and this kind of seems to sort of mimics the way you talked about how that kind of mimic the way in which memory works, but also it kind of mimics the way in which we kind of receive information as well. And I wondered if that's something you kind of thought about, this, I guess, the language of the internet and how kind of...
Yeah, I guess I wanted to produce a subject, this character who is kind of made of, is not sort of an integrated whole necessarily, he's sort of a collection of fragments. And he moves through time and he moves in space completely sort of, not seamlessly, but he doesn't seem to be shocked by one of these. And I think that part of that has to do with, I guess I was trying to kind of create if there was this idea of a subject that's constituted within spectacular culture and that is negotiated as one of sort of fracture, that this subject was one sort of related to those experiences. And that's it, really. But anyway, and I think in a way, it's sort of this idea of moving in time and having these slippages and stuff. It is a form that we allow But I think that there's also a sort of possible opposite to that, which is that perhaps memory is so popular in our culture at the moment because this form that's given to memory is in fact a reflection of a kind of contemporary subject position, and so it allows us to externalize an image of contemporary experience as much as it actually is a representation of memory necessarily.
Yeah, there's one other work in the exhibition which you titled The Lookers, and watercolour piece, and kind of avoid some of the kind of theatrical trickery in the presentation of that. I wondered if you could talk a bit about how that piece relates to this work.
I came across an image that's actually a fashion plate of this couple who are built in very, very similar ways. There's very little difference in physique between the man and the woman. And both of them are looking away into a kind of nondescript landscape. And I was interested in the image because it's basically an image, you're looking at people looking at something that you can't see. And so this idea of these views being accessible and inaccessible, and being sort of to what extent they're made available to knowledge in a way. It seemed to come up in this image, and it was made the same time, around the same time that No Impressions of Africa came out. And so I was interested in working with it, and I basically just sort of took it apart and reformatted it to try and emphasize this process of sort of these like total environments of looking, where everyone's looking at someone else, who's looking at someone else, who's looking at something else, and it's like a kind of total chain of view. But then again, I was sort of also interested in playing with the fact that they all have different visual registers in a way within that system. And so by using this trick, which is that because light is additive, I could add the 3 colors of light and I would get a white spotlight. But any place that it's refracted, you get the color again. So basically you get a sort of projector reading as colored lights that become one light and illuminate